Okay, guys. So, like I said, we jump to chapter 4, right? And then we start the nutrition facts level today. The reason being, like, hey, next week is our last week before the exam. All right? And I have a good question on the nutrition facts level. Very important one, because this chapter will allow us to just put everything together. All right? So, this is one of the most important chapters that we have to see. The life-changing one, right? You know, when you go to the market, you need to know what you are eating. So, if you go to your notes, we give you there the information, all right, that we have regarding like the food label information. But most of the time, what happens? You know, we go to the market and we just eat, right? We just buy stuff. But what is important for us is actually to read what is on the food label, all right? And today and the whole week up to next week, hopefully, we'll do this exercise: how to read the food label. How do we know this is good for me? So you have on your book, all right. On number 1, what do you have? Why do we have it? It provides information from the food manufacturer to the consumer, all right? So people who make the food tell you basically what is inside the food, okay? It also helps you in your buying decision. So you can decide, is this okay or this is not okay for me, all right? So now, very important thing to keep in mind here, we talk about the nutrients. You still remember what is a nutrient? Nutrients are substances, right, that we have inside the food that help the body to function, right? A very important definition that we need to know. Now, we also talk about processed food. Remember, we say, oh, when we look at the nutrient deficiency, we say, for example, this person has vitamin C deficiency. How do we call vitamin C deficiency? Scurvy. All right. So we can go from there. We look at this food. We say, oh, do we have vitamin C? Okay. We can talk about iron deficiency. How do we call iron deficiency? Anemia. All right. So guys, that's, you know. So start thinking this way. Remember, last time, what did I show you? I showed you the relationship, right, between socioeconomical status and your health, all right? So we look at the food that we eat and the impact on our health, okay? So we also know that if we eat certain food, it may actually affect our health as well. So then when we go to the market, okay, we check. This is good or this is not good. For example, all right, if you go to Emart, oops, not working. If you go to Emart and you buy some apples, do you need a food label for apple? If you go to the market, I tell you, we have this, right? So you go to the market, right? You buy two stuffs, right? You have like, you buy this fruit, you buy apple, all right? And then you also buy what? Cookies, right? Now, what is the difference? What is the difference between apple and the cookies that you bought? What is the difference? Anybody? I think I know the answer, yeah.
Cookies is processed food.
Yeah, you see here, these cookies are processed. I'm struggling with my pens, right? Maybe because I have a microphone. This is very important to get it. So here, this food is processed. Is changed, all right? It's not in the original form. Okay, guys? Not on the original form. So how about this apple? What would be the opposite pounded for process? Non-processed, or you may say whole food. All right. Okay. So this one, in terms of the nutrition facts labeling, all right. So this one, no need. We don't need, right? We don't need to label that one. It's a whole food here. This one is processed, and being processed, it's a must. We must tell consumers what we have inside. Okay? Now, as a general rule, all right, and you will see that you will look at your food, you look at your cookies and things like that. Whatever you buy on the market, they will give you a list of ingredients. Okay? Anybody eating something processed here? Anybody? Oh, you guys you're eating healthy now, eh? Nobody's eating anything processed, or you're waiting for me to leave the class? No? Alright, so in general, what you want to make sure of is what? It's like you have, you want to make sure that you have no sugar, alright? In the first 3 ingredients. Okay? Very, very important. You want to make sure that when you look at the first ingredients, you have no sugar. And when I mention sugar here, I'm talking about added sugar. Alright? So this is something that we have to look at. Last time I asked you to check this article that I wrote last year when we talk about the relationship between socio-economical status and health. You cannot see? Cannot see? You're okay? And the problem was dental caries. So for example, with sugar, we may have all type of problems, right? If you talk about the kids, we may have problem with dental caries here. What is another problem we may have with sugar? Any idea? Huh? Yeah, so here you are gaining weight, okay? Weight gain. Weight gain here, we are talking about obesity. Guys, this is very important. The last question, like I told you in the exam, you have to analyze the problem. Alright? So you look at, last week, we calculate energy expenditure. Alright? So you look at the person, say, okay, because of, remember chapter 1, food choice, we just wonder what's going on with this person. We look at the food choice. Always have in mind this picture that I gave to you guys. Remember it? Social economical status, right, is associated with what? Food and security. And here, what do we have here? We have here food habits, right? Or food security. We remember what is food security? Alright? And here we have health. Okay? And health here, this component health, it can be anything. It can be the problem of dental caries. It can be the problem of diabetes that I have to add here. As you know, when we talk about the problem of type 2 diabetes here, okay, is associated with excess of sugar in the blood. So we look at it, my food habits. This food habit is going to affect my health, right? It depends which condition do I have. It can be anemia. Last time we talked about anemia, right? It can be we have a problem of iron deficiency and things like that. Okay? So this is the first element. Now guys, what I would like to do is to show you how to read your food label, what you have to look at. Alright? So let's look at it together here. You must have this page, and most food labels will have all the same components. All right. So everybody goes to this page. My page number is different, so I cannot give you the page number. All right. So everybody has this one, right? Alright, so when you go to the market, alright, you buy your cookies, you buy anything, this is what you have to look at. So you start here, you look at serving size. And then the second element is serving per container, 2. What does it mean? The serving size is the amount that people usually eat. Alright? So I will be removing the slide once in a while, alright? And I will be writing some important notes on the board because we're not able to write simultaneously. Okay? But when you look at it, you see here the serving size, 1 cup, 228 grams. And then you have here, serving per container. How many do we have? 2. What does it mean? Any idea? What it means is very simple. Alright? Yeah. Half cup. What is half cup? Half cup. Okay, let's look at it. Very simple. I go to the market and I buy this. Alright? Let's assume this is food. This is my food. Alright? Okay. How much do you usually eat? We're talking about this one. This is 1 serving size. So I eat this one. Alright? But if you look at here, it says what? Serving size per container is 2. What is the container? This is the container. How many do I have inside? 2. Understand? So when you go to the market, alright, you buy your box of cookies, okay? It's very, very important to make that difference. And it's very, very important to understand. I'm not sure if everybody can see me here. I'm going to remove this a little bit. So what do you need to understand here? So this is your container, alright? And you go to the market, you have this inside. So this one is your container. How do we call what you have inside? How many do you have inside? It's 9 what? Exactly. Alright? So here, this is 1 serving. Okay? Now understand this. If you go, look at your notebook, then you have amount number 2, they ask you to check the calorie. You have amount per serving. How many calories do we have? Amount per serving. How many calories do you see? You see them written on the box. 200? So we have 250 calories. These 250 calories, is it the total calories for the box or the calorie for one size? One serving size. Okay, guys? So when you see these 250, the food label is only for 1 serving size. You know, I keep repeating that because, you know, sometimes in the exam, I give you the label, and you forget to read how many do we have on the container, right? You need to know how many do we have inside. Okay? So what does it mean? If I go to the market and I buy this food, this one alone is giving me 250 kilocalories, and I decide to not share. If I eat everything by myself, how many calories did I put in my body? How many calories in total did I put in the body? So what do? You do what? 250 multiplied by what? By 9. How much is it? 2,250? Oh yeah, kilocalories, yeah. We know how to put the units now. Okay, in general, how many kilocalories we need to put in our body per day? Average. So, now, understand one thing. The food label is designed for 2,000 kilocalories. You understand? The food label is designed for 2,000 kilocalories. So, let me put the thing back up again here. Open your book again. Now, you have interesting numbers that you see there. Alright? So what do you see? In yellow, what do you see in yellow? For those who have it in color. So you have fat, alright? You have cholesterol, you have sodium, you have carbohydrates, you have protein. How do we call those ones? Yeah, these are nutrients, right? These are nutrients. And if you look at the right side, we have something here in color purple. It's written daily value. By the way, a couple of weeks ago, I sent you a document and I asked you to download it. Did you download the daily value? Everybody has the sheet for daily values? It's up to you. I said it, right? You guys don't want to study anymore? I mean, Christmas is still pretty far. I sent you that document, and it's very, very important. Alright? So, the daily value is pretty much how much do we need in terms of nutrients every day. You know, we start from children 4 years and more. Alright? So, I'll write some of those things for you guys. So this daily value here is telling you, in this one, is just telling you how much do I have in this food. Now, how do we know? You can see that on your paper. I don't need to explain this. What we have here is, if the daily value is below 5%, yeah, it's not good. We need a little bit more. If it's over 20%, it is not actually good. So I give you a very simple example here. Let's talk about sodium. How much sodium do we have here? 470 milligram. All right. So let's just do this math together. What is the percentage daily value for sodium? 20. All right. Is it good or not good? Why not good? Who says good? So you see the percentage daily value. All right. I will explain to you guys. Very very important to know. So the daily value so you have the DV, the daily value, right? So this is this is the amount of nutrients, right? Amount of nutrient required, right? Daily or every day. How much nutrient do I need every day? If you look at the table, for those who have the table, what is the daily value? What is the daily value for sodium? What is the daily value for sodium? 2,300 milligram, right? Per day. All right? What is the daily value for iron? You guys don't have the daily value. You don't have the daily value table. You should have it, guys. You should have the daily value table. I'll send it to you guys. What is the daily value for iron? 40 milligram. How much is it? Everybody must have this one. So the daily value for sodium is what? 80 milligram. Okay, now guys, there are two ways to think, and you have to think critically here. All right? I'm going to make a difference, and I want you to follow carefully. For example, I'm now asking you the question here. I'm now asking you the question. You look at your table. You look at your food label. All right? You have your food label. You have your food label, and you see the color purple. Now they will ask you the percentage daily value. Percentage daily value for sodium. How do we get percentage daily value for sodium? For example, on the food label, what is the percentage daily value for sodium? On your label, how much is it? What is the percentage? Okay, so the sodium, the percentage is what? 20%, right? So it's 20%, so I'm just putting parentheses here, 20%. So, but how do we get 20%? That's the question. How do we get 20%? There are people taking the nutrition class with me, right? How do we get the 20%? Anybody? So what we do is, you look, all right? You look at here, how much sodium do we have on this food? So we have 400 what? 470 what? Why you guys keep forgetting the units? You know the exam if you forget is 0, right? Everybody knows it. All right. So now, and what is the daily value for sodium? 2,300 milligram, right? We multiply by 100. How much is it? Anya, Pali, how much is it? Pali. How much is it? 20%, right? 20% or not? Alright, so it's 20%. This is how they got it. Understand or not? So when you look at your food, alright, when you look at your food, you can look at the percentage, the percentage of your daily value, right? Your daily value percentage here. You want to make sure it's between 5 to 20%. If it's more, okay, maybe it's too much. Alright? We don't want it. If it's low, we don't have enough. You understand that? Now, iron. Do we have iron on this food? When you look at it, do we have iron on this food? It says 4%. Alright? How did I get the 4%? They didn't give us the thing here. It's going to be the same calculation to get the 4%. Alright? Now guys, number 2. Let's go up to fat. How much fat do we have in this food? How much fat do we have in this food? How much fat do we have? Look at the food label. Look at the food label. How much fat do we have in this food? 12 grams, right? And what is the daily value for fat? What is the daily value for fat? 65. So then, what do? We do 12 divided by 65. We multiply by 100. How much do we get? How much do we get there? 18%, right? So this is how they get the daily value for fat. Now, very important aspect now to understand here. All right. Look at your table. There are some nutrients we don't know the percentage daily value. What are the nutrients where there is no percentage daily value? Look at the table and tell me which nutrient doesn't have a percentage daily value. Did you see it? You look at the right side, percentage daily value. Some of them don't have the percentage daily value. Which one don't have it? So if you look at it, we don't have daily value for trans fat. We don't have daily value for protein. And we don't have daily value for what? For sugar. I mean, the question should be why? Okay? The question should be why. So, like I said, the nutrition fact label, it was done from children 4 years and more, all right? So, what they say here is protein, all right? Protein is not a public health. Protein is not a public health issue. Basically telling people, oh, you can eat a lot of protein and stuff like that. But what did we learn? But we don't necessarily know the source of protein, right? We don't know if these are proteins from animals. We don't know if these ones are from plants. Okay? So we don't have that one. So now for the trans fat, is it good or not good? I'll be back with the trans fat. So for the trans fat here, so here the scientists were not able to determine the daily value. They just say, hey, we were not able to determine this daily value. Okay? Now, for the sugar, remember guys, I started with the sugar, and we'll see that again on the next class. I'll go into the details of it, so don't worry. All right? So now for the sugar, what I recommend to do is just to look and try to avoid the added sugar. All right? So if you go, for example, everybody go to the next page. You go on the next page. All right? You go on the next page. You have here 2 yogurts. You have plain yogurt. All right? You have plain yogurt, and then you have fruit yogurt. Okay? So, what did I ask you guys to do? You need to look at the ingredients. Alright? So, here you look at the ingredients, and you can see that the plain yogurt, we see like 10 grams of sugar, and the fruit yogurt, we have like 44 grams. But what you have to look, like I said, is we don't want added sugar. If you compare both, you're going to see high fructose corn syrup. So basically, we're telling people that if you have to buy food, on the list of your first 3 ingredients, you don't want to see added sugar. So then when you go to the market, alright, when you go to the market, you just look at that section regarding the 3 ingredients. Meaning what? That if you see, right, any added sugar, they're just basically telling people, oh, stay away from it. But you know this is what kids most of the time like. Alright? So that is the way we can look at it. Alright? So let's come back. Let's come back to the picture. Let's come back to the picture here. So let's go back to the picture and let's look at the fat again. Now, fat percentage daily value is what? 80%. 80%, is it good or not good? If you look at the food label, 80% is good, right? If you look at one serving size, how many calories do we have in total in one serving size? 250. How many do we have from fat? Look at the food label. How many calories do you get from fat? 110. So if you do 110 divided by 250, you multiply by 100, how much is it? What is the percentage of fat in the food? You guys are not doing it? So you take how many calories do we have? 110, you divide by 250, you multiply by 100. How much is it? Did you find the answer? 44. How much is it? 44. Alright? So we are here 44%. So in my personal opinion, alright, the percentage daily value does not tell you much. Percentage daily value doesn't tell you much. The true value is how much of one nutrient we have in the food. And you can see, right, that in terms of energy, you get most of it from the fat. Alright? Okay, so everybody understand that? Okay, so let's stay again on the same picture. We look, for example, at trans fat. How many grams do we have? 3 grams, right? Alright. As we know, trans fat is associated with cardiovascular disease, heart disease, right? So we recommend people not to eat a lot of it, or not to eat it at all. Alright? So we have here 3 grams. It doesn't look much. But if we put it in the serving, if you decide to eat the full box, for example, the first example that we got, in this one, you actually have 2 serving. You cannot just look at this small quantity, you have to look at the total. How many grams of trans fat you actually putting inside the body. And remember that most diseases that we have, they don't just happen in one night. It's over time. Chapter 1, food habits. Okay, guys? So it means that the food choice that we make, even just for 3 grams, even just for this 3 grams of fat, or trans fat, if your favorite cake, like me, is like the cheesecake, you eat it like almost every day, yeah, slowly you develop, right? You accumulate it in the body, right? So these are the things that you have to look at. Another element now is we talk about the sodium. The last exercise that we did, we wanted to know if the quantity of sodium is too much or whatever, right? So here we have 470. It says 20%, so 20% we say, okay, it's okay. And if you remember, I show you the picture. Every time, when we have this processed food, the sodium content goes up. Alright? So if you look at it, from this food alone, if you eat the 2 servings, you have now 470 milligrams of sodium multiplied by what? 2. But the daily value, how much we should eat every day, is 2,300 for the whole day, right? But this food alone is already giving us more than 900, isn't it? Alright? This is why being like sodium deficiency, it's pretty difficult to be sodium deficiency. Why? Because most food that we eat, right? The food that we eat most of the time is processed food. Okay? It's processed food. So, however, if you look at the other one, we can go to the next page here. We look at, for example, the case of calcium. So what did we learn? So what did we say? We say, for example, that hey, calcium deficiency will lead to which disease? Osteoporosis, right? Talk about calcium, vitamin D, and things like that. All right, guys. This is how I want you guys to think in preparing for the exam. There are cases where you have the deficiency, and there are cases where you have the excess. All right. So for the teenagers, for example, all right, we will want them to take actually over 30% of what is recommended in terms of calcium. So this is the exception where we will allow them because they are growing and they need more calcium and things like that, all right, to keep growing and have solid bones, or much older people. For example, you talk about some elderly ladies, they have problem with their bones. And in that case, yeah, we will need them to take more calcium. But how do I want you guys? How do I want you guys to think moving forward? Is when you have a problem, okay? When you have a problem, so when you have a problem, the problem you will have is going to be a case of what? It's going to be a case of malnutrition. All right? So, and when we talk about malnutrition, malnutrition has what? Two components. Right? What are they? So we have undernutrition or overnutrition. So think with me. We read the full label, this person maybe has this and this and this problem. The case of overnutrition, if we measure the body mass index, we actually have the case of a person being what? Overweight / obese. Alright? So, overweight or obese. And in this case, we look at the food habits, right? We look at the food habits, and the food habit we want to look if they have food that has like a lot of fat. We're talking about a lot of sugar, and here we talk maybe about some, animal proteins and stuff like that. All right. So in the first case of overnutrition here, so what we have here? Here is what? Excess of what? Excess of energy. Alright? I mean, if you drink Coke, they have like a lot of sugar, gives you energy, and you accumulate a lot of fat. You eat all these cookies and potato chips. Alright? These are food that will give you a lot of energy. Just keep that in mind. You have a problem, and when you look at the problem, you need to identify already the situation. Alright? So this is the first case that you have. What is the second case of malnutrition? Is undernutrition. Alright? Undernutrition, this is when we have what? Nutrient deficiency. Alright? And now, nutrient deficiency. So, and in nutrient deficiency here, it's not always that the BMI will be low. I mean, you can look healthy and still be nutrient deficiency. Alright? But here, remember, this is when we start talking about problem, for example, like iron deficiency, vitamin A deficiency, vitamin C deficiency, things like that. Okay? So, I put, for example, iodine here as well. We have that on the list of things I gave you guys. So when you identify it, in this first case, for example, if you talk about iodine, what is the disease associated with iodine deficiency? So we have like, going to here, the iron, we talk about anemia. So we know, number one, this is the problem, all right? The problem is iodine deficiency, all right? And the disease or the result, number two, we have goiter here. And what will be the solution? What will be the solution for this case? Yeah, so fortified food, right? So we need a food that is fortified with iodine. Alright? So for example, in this case, we may ask people, okay, eat salt that is fortified with iodine here. So in every situation, you need to identify the problem, the result of it, and then the solution. Alright? So, it's the same. We talk about iron deficiency, anemia, and what will be the solution in this case. And all of that, and based on the paper I told you to read if you have time, it's also associated with what? Food habits. What is the problem we did last week? We had a problem of a Korean bus driver. Remember? Yeah, we show a little bit of food that he eats. He works 8 hours, but he doesn't spend much energy. He's just driving the car. Not much energy is going out. Alright? After nutrition assessment, we look at the type of food that he eats, and then the doctor may see, oh, there is a deficiency, or the person is maybe overweight, in this case. And then, in the case of the bus driver, we say that the person was in this category, overweight, obese. Alright? Overweight, obese. Then, based on 2 things, his food choice and physical inactivity. So, let's take the second case. Let's take the second case here of the bus driver that we saw last week. We said that the person is in the category of overweight, obesity. All right. So we may ask the question, why? Why are people obese? Any idea? Why do you think people are overweight, obese? What are the reasons? Yeah? So here, number one reason, we may say that, oh, they overeat. Alright? But like I always tell you, it's not really about overeating. It's what? As we look at the food level, is the kind of food that you eat, the type of food that you eat. You can eat a little bit, but if what you eat is rich in energy, it might just be very difficult. So here is really the type of food. Alright? And the number 2 reason is what? Physical inactivity. Alright? That's when we saw last week, when we say, oh, the doctor asked him to lose 10 kilograms. How does he lose 10 kilograms? How? He doesn't lose 10 kilograms by just sitting on the bus. No. He needs to have some energy out. How do you get energy out? Physical activity. And when we talk about this physical activity, guys, this is when I give you guys the value, the MET value. Metabolic, right, equivalent for task. So when you will go to the exam, always combine everything together. You understand? Don't just study. Alright? Now, because of obesity, I still have 3 more minutes, right? Or a little bit more, right? So, because of obesity, this person can have a risk of developing hypertension. And we will see that later on. Alright? Because of obesity, this person has a risk of developing what? Type 2. Type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes. When I talk about type 2 diabetes here, I just want to remind you guys, 90% 90% of the people who have type 2 diabetes, these people are what? Are obese. Alright? It means when you go to the hospital, if the doctor tells you, oh, these 10 people have type 2 diabetes, 9 of the 10 are actually overweight, obese. Okay? So, we also have the risk of developing some cancer. Alright? Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, cancer is now the #1 killer in Korea, remember? And what did I tell you? I gave you an example of a Korean bus driver. Overweight, borderline obesity, the Asian body tends to accumulate maybe more fat. So, meaning more likely to develop these diseases. Alright? Go to Google today, you can maybe type my name and also put cardiovascular disease, or you put hypertension. You will see on the paper written about hypertension that if some people, most people who say they have hypertension, they were also overweight, obese. So it's a serious problem, right? So, and the last element you look at here is atherosclerosis. So here we have too much lipids. We have too much lipids in the blood. We having too much fat in the blood. Alright? And I'll explain more of those things and the relationship between, because from the problem of hypertension, there's also like the risk of developing stroke and heart attack. You know, heart disease #2 killer in Korea. So guys, as we go home, and we will continue again next class on Thursday, I will take now time to go with some examples with you. We will review the food label, how do you read it? Okay? And we'll see some examples, but at the end, always keep in mind, you have to diagnose the problem. Oh, okay, this person is overweight, this person is obese. Okay, this is what the person is eating. Alright? This is what the doctor recommends. You need to calculate how much energy out, how long it's going to take to lose maybe the 10 kilogram. And then you also think about, okay, what is the solution? Alright? Is it a case of nutrient deficiency, or is it a case of excess of energy? Alright? If it's the case of excess of energy, okay, we say, oh, they are at risk of developing these diseases. Alright? If it's the case of undernutrient, there's a risk of developing the other diseases that we talked about in the beginning. Vitamin A deficiency, vitamin C, iron, and things like that. And what will be the solution? The nutrition solution will be what? You know, fortified food. We are adding new nutrient to the diet. And on the same chapter 1, I gave you the 6 principles of diet planning, so the doctor wants you to follow them. Alright? In this class, I did not teach them in details, but at least you must know them. Alright? Those who take the nutrition class with me, we saw them again. So I just want you guys to be able to analyze the situation. Don't just study, just try to understand. And your answer can be different, but if your thinking pattern, the way you reason is good, I will give you the points. Okay, guys? Alright, have a good evening. I thought that it was already summer, but I guess it's getting cold. Alright, so for those who have questions, come and see me here. If not,
See you next time.
Thank you. No.